You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play.
The options market can be a confusing place. Sorting through the daily avalanche of data, alerts, updates, articles, and analysis to find the most important information is an overwhelming prospect. But now you have help. Welcome to the Options News Rundown, the only program that breaks through the noise to bring you the most important news and information from the world of options. Every day, we bring you the top 5 option stories curated by the options experts at theoptionsinsider.com, the premier source for options information. The Options News Rundown is brought to you by Market Taker Mentoring, the leader in options trading education. Get trader education, daily trade ideas, and more with a free 1-week trial of Market Taker Mentoring's Live Advantage Group coaching class by visiting markettaker.com/insider. And now it's time to break through the noise. It's time for your Options News Rundown.
Good morning. Today is Tuesday, May 21st, 2019. This is your Options News Rundown. I'm Dan Passarelli. Our first story of the day is from investing.com. It's the top 5 things to know in the market on Tuesday. First thing to know is there's a ceasefire in the trade war, but is Huawei kidding? The U.S. has dialed down the tension with China a notch, but the Chinese aren't impressed. After the Commerce Department signaled it would give specific exemptions to U.S. companies that sell to telecoms giant Huawei for 3 months, Huawei founder Ren Zhengfei said it wouldn't stop further conflict between the U.S. and China further down the line. Elsewhere, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development warned again that trade disputes threaten to act as long-term brakes on global growth. It argued that business investment this year and next would grow only 1.75%, roughly half of last year's level. The second thing to know today is Wall Street was set to open higher pre-open, and retail earnings are eyed. U.S. stock markets are set to open higher following a relief rally in Asian and European stocks overnight. Mainland China's Shanghai Shenzhen CSI 300 index has rebounded 1.4%, while the Euro Stoxx 600 was up 0.5%, and Germany's DAX was up 0.9%. It was a big day for the retail sector, with earnings updates due from TJX, Nordstrom, Kohl's, and Home Depot. The third thing to know today is oil pauses for breath. Crude oil prices were taking a breather after Monday's leg up on the back of an escalating trade war of words between President Donald Trump and Iran. Today's situation is not suitable for talks, and our choice is only resistance, Iran's state-owned news agency IRNA quoted President Hassan Rouhani as saying late on Monday. At 5:45 a.m., crude futures were up 0.330 cents. This they need a copy editor here. There's tons of mistakes here, and I'm trying to not flub them as I read them. At 5:45 a.m., U.S. crude futures were up 0.3. I don't know if that's 0.3% or 30 cents. I don't know what that means. At $63.40 a barrel, while international Brent blend futures were flat at $71.97. At 5:30 p.m. Eastern, the American Petroleum Institute will release its weekly review of U.S. oil stocks. Analysts estimate the government's weekly data will show a draw of 2.53 million barrels from crude inventories last week. The fourth thing to know today is the dollar marches higher. The dollar has ground higher approaching the 2-year high that it hit in April amid fears that the trade war may evolve into a currency war. The dollar index, which measures the greenback against the basket of currencies, hit 97.968 overnight before retracing to 97.917. Overnight, the dollar was stable against the Chinese yuan, but it rose sharply against advanced economy currencies after Australia's central bank signaled it may cut interest rates at its policy meeting next month. The euro and sterling, meanwhile, continue to labor under concerns over Brexit and the results of this week's European Parliament elections. The OECD, in its report, warned the Bank of England against raising interest rates amid the current uncertainty over Brexit. The Bank of England has signaled that it thinks labor market tightness would justify a rate hike, other things being equal. Existing home sales and Fed speeches is the fifth thing to know about today. A relatively light data calendar is led today by existing home sales data at 10 a.m. Eastern. Expectations are for a 2.7% increase after a 4.9% drop in March. There will also be speeches from Chicago Fed President Charles Evans at 10:45 a.m. Eastern and Boston Fed President Eric Rosengren at 12 p.m. Our second story today is from investing.com as well. U.S. existing home sales fall for a second straight month. U.S. home sales fell for a second straight month in April amid weakness in the lower-priced segment of the market, which is suffering from an acute shortage of properties. The report from the National Association of Realtors on Tuesday added to weak retail sales and industrial production data in suggesting the economy was losing momentum after getting a temporary boost from exports and accumulation of inventory in the first quarter. Existing home sales fell 0.4% to a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 5.19 million units last month. March's sales pace was unrevised at 5.21 million units. Economists polled by Reuters had forecast existing home sales rising 2.7% to a rate of 5.35 million units in April. And our third story today is from investing.com also. Hundreds of foreign companies attend North Korea trade fair despite sanctions. An international trade fair in North Korea this week may be the largest such event on record, analysts said Tuesday, with hundreds of Chinese and other foreign vendors taking part despite sanctions pressure. The 22nd Pyongyang Spring International Trade Fair opened on Monday with a ceremony hosted by top economic officials, North Korean state news agency KCNA reported. More than 450 companies from North Korea, China, Russia, Pakistan, Poland, and other countries and regions showcased a range of products at the fair, KCNA said. That number would make it the largest trade fair hosted by North Korea, according to an analyst of state media announcements from 2007 to 2019, conducted by NK News, a website that tracks North Korean issues. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is news you can use for today, Tuesday, May 21st, 2019. Your Options News Rundown. I'm Dan Passarelli, Trade Smart. Have a great day.
The Options News Rundown is brought to you by Market Taker Mentoring, the leader in options trading education. Get trader education, daily trade ideas, and more with a free 1-week trial of Market Taker Mentoring's Live Advantage Group coaching class by visiting markettaker.com/insider.
The preceding program was a production of the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play. Don't forget to follow along with your favorite programs and submit your own questions for the hosts at twitter.com/options, facebook.com/theoptionsinsider, or via questions@theoptionsinsider.com.